everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, July 2nd, 2017. As chairman of the board and CEO of Y&R Chat, I demand a paternity test right this instant. I would like to order this paternity test to be performed immediately, the results to be delivered to me, and I will read them aloud to the crowd. Oh my goodness, Juliet is pregnant. Wow. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Are you buying this? Are you believing that Juliet is pregnant with Kane's baby? I think we need a Y&R Chat official poll on this question. Is Juliet pregnant with Kane's baby? YRChat.com. I want to know if you guys think that this is even feasible. I'm still trying to come to terms with the fact that they slept together at all. There is still doubt in my mind about whether or not they even had sex, and now I have to try to process whether or not she is in fact pregnant, and if so, is that baby Kane's? I don't know. I can't wait to hear what the chatters are saying and thinking about this week. Honestly, I think one of the most brilliant tie-ins that happened this week as this story is unfolding was tying it back into Chelsea and what she did. I loved Jordan going to Chelsea, talking about Juliet and the case and everything that was going on, and Chelsea commenting on whether or not she thinks Juliet could be pulling a con here. Of course, Chelsea didn't know about the baby at that point, but she was weighing in, and I just thought that was a really genius way to bring things back to another character who's done something really similar. Chelsea is living proof that you can dupe a guy into bed, get pregnant with his child. That's exactly what she did to Billy, and that's how we have little Johnny. So it can absolutely happen. I'm gonna probably have an unpopular opinion here. There's something to me, as much as I hate to admit it, that I kind of think that I'm leaning toward believing Juliet. I know that seems crazy because of course she's capable of lies. Clearly, we've seen her lying about this sexual harassment suit, but to me, it seems like she was more coerced into that whole path by Hilary and to some extent by Leslie. Juliet would have had to be a cold, hard schemer, a con, a complete con, to dream up this scam all on her own. And for what end? For a job? For money? I mean, what exactly would she have wanted from Kane? I'm not sure if a cold, hard schemer con is who Juliet is. I don't entirely know who Juliet is, though. I guess that's part of the problem. Honestly, I've gotten nothing from Juliet except for mostly legitimacy and then someone who kind of got pressured a little bit into moving forward with a sexual harassment suit that she knew wasn't entirely true because she needed money after having gotten fired from her job. That's the only thing I really get from Juliet. I'm sure that that's going to be an unpopular opinion, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're weighing out Juliet's word against Kane, and Kane, we've seen, has lied far more than Juliet, but he's had a much longer history. Juliet at the very beginning of the week showed up at the athletic club looking sickly and wanting to speak to Lily. And that is my first and foremost question. Why did Juliet want to talk to Lily in the first place? Was she just wanting to apologize for the mess? Was she trying to make an amends with Lily? They had started to develop somewhat of a friendship. Or did she already suspect that she was pregnant? Was she going to say something to Lily about that? I want to know what that conversation would have been if Juliet had not passed out cold on the floor. Lily ends up having to be in the position of taking Juliet to the emergency room or following her to the emergency room. That honestly said so much about Lily's character, that she would follow Juliet there to try to make sure that she's okay, that Lily wanted to help someone, even though that someone had created this vicious lie that would harm her family, that would harm her marriage. The fact that Lily was sitting there in the waiting room feeling awful for having lashed out at Juliet, maybe possibly causing her to pass out, I think speaks a lot to Lily's character. And in my mind, which is always trying to predict things, made me think, I wonder if Juliet is pregnant, if she's going to go through with having the baby. I wonder if Lily and Kane would possibly adopt that baby. Maybe it's a far-fetched theory, but it would be the full Chelsea tie-in to have Lily and Kane go on to adopt the baby. I mean, Juliet, from her conversation with Hilary, is not exactly excited to be a mother, so she could possibly go along with an adoption. Just throwing it out there. Juliet is definitely a loner, so I could kind of see her really following in Chelsea's footsteps there. It seems that Juliet has no family to call to go, that would want to be notified that the woman is in the hospital. So in Lily's mind, the only person who would really have that information is Kane. So she calls Kane to the hospital to, I guess, just call in some reinforcements, see if there's anything that he thinks should be done in this situation. And to the bitter end, Kane was lying about the situation with Juliet. I mean, right up until he couldn't deny it anymore, he was insisting on his innocence. And then Juliet comes out of the ER with her pregnancy test results, puts it right there in Kane and Lily's face. Boom! I mean, it's right there in black and white. Kane cannot continue to deny this. He's been on shaky ground for all these weeks and weeks. I mean, I think Kane has been holding on by a thread. I don't think that he wants to keep this lie. I think he started out on a path of telling a lie, and now everything he's had to do is just covering up the little lie, and continuing to cover it up. But she says to Kane and Lily, it's 13 weeks is how pregnant I am. That coincides with when I was in Tokyo, when we were in Tokyo. Boom, the timeline checks out. There's no denying it, Kane. I mean, I suppose he could have continued to deny it, but he chose not to, which was finally the right thing to do. There's just too much evidence. There's too much evidence piling up, too much pressure piling up for him to keep dodging it. So he has to admit right there, standing in the hospital room or in the hospital waiting area, to Lily that yes, he had sex with Juliet. Finally, the truth comes out. I just felt my heart breaking for Lily because she has tried to stand by him. She has tried to deny and push into the back of her mind any doubts that she had about him. She didn't want to believe that he would lie to her, that he would do this and then lie to her. And right there in public, again, all of this is crashing down around her. I mean, last week it was Lily finding out in public, standing there in front of the elevator, that that Kane had lied to her, and then the elevator closing on her alone and him standing on the outside. He had lied about the videotape last week, or she'd learned about the Tokyo hotel videotape, and then this week she's standing in outside of another elevator learning about the pregnancy test results, and she gets into the elevator alone with Kane standing there looking at her. I mean, it's like week after week, more of these lies are coming out and coming back to haunt Kane and to crush Lily's world. It was just so sad. I felt bad for her. I really did feel bad for Kane, though, too. I mean, I do think that he legitimately does not remember what happened. I think he let himself get ahead of himself. But at the end of the day, he did bring this all on himself. Kane has honestly destroyed his own life here, because if Juliet is being honest and we take the situation at face value, Kane, of course, didn't intend to have an affair with her, but he sure chose to knock back those sake shots and get too drunk, and then he chose to lie about it as the truth started to come to light, presuming it is the truth. And unfortunately, that was Kane's doing. The bulk of what's going wrong in his life here was caused by him. And now there are so many other victims of it now. I mean, Victoria has no choice but to settle out this lawsuit, and that's possibly going to cause big problems for her company. And now, I mean, Lily is left with probably the biggest decision of her life, and I don't know which way she's gonna go. Last week's poll question, I asked you guys if you think that Lily should forgive Kane or if you think she should move on from her marriage. It was a split vote. I don't even think there's anything that we've done, a question that we've asked on chat that has been this close. It was 51% of you saying that Lily should forgive Kane, 49% saying no, it's no more lies, we're over it. So I mean, half of the viewers here feel passionately about Lily and Kane, half think they're over it. I mean, honestly, most of the comments that I saw were reasons why Lily should leave Kane. The reasons why Lily should stay with Kane are, I think, a little more subtle, because it's not just about black and white issues. I mean, the big elephant in the room is love, and it's probably too large to forget or to ignore. You can't ignore the fact that she loves her husband. I really believe that Lily would have forgiven the affair. She would have forgiven this one night stand if Kane would have just been honest with her from the very beginning. I believe in my heart of hearts that they would have been able to move past this together. I mean, Lily had an affair. Of course, it was under entirely different circumstances, but I believe that Lily would have rationalized and prepared herself to forgive Kane for something like that. The possibly unforgivable part is the lie, and it's the repeated lies, really. It was the fact that he continually lied throughout this whole process, not just to her, but to everyone. She feels like she's been made a fool of because of the lies. So, I don't know, putting myself in Lily's shoes, would I forgive Kane? Would I end the relationship? Would I end the marriage? I just keep asking myself that question over and over. And I feel like breaking up with Kane, I would be doing it, she would be doing it out of pain and out of pride and out of principle, in a way, that he would have this affair and get another woman pregnant. I could see myself breaking up with him out of principle, but the reasons to stay with him are the love. Lily still loves her husband. There's still so much emotion, so much history there, not to mention a family. Hilary Curtis, girl, you are giving me whiplash. I feel like Devon must have felt when he was married to her. Like, I want the best for Hilary, and I want the best from Hilary, but sometimes she makes it so hard. Sometimes Hilary feels so vulnerable and she looks so lonely. Like every time that she and Devon are together, she's almost a different person. And Devon never stopped loving her. He just chose to get off the ride. He just chose to get out of this cycle of destruction. And they had a great conversation this week where she told him, without you, I have to be my own conscience, and that is not always easy. She saw Devon as her balance, as someone who was able to keep her in check, because when left to her own devices, she sends out a wave of destruction for herself and for everyone else. It gets me that she apparently knew all along that Juliet was lying about the sexual harassment case. After the case was settled and Juliet announced that she won, Victoria settled the lawsuit, her money worries were over, Hilary pulls that flash drive out for a second look at the footage that she got when she recorded that conversation with Juliet, unbeknownst to Juliet, and Juliet is admitting to Hilary that Kane did not give her a job as a quid pro quo. So Hilary knew the entire time that Kane was innocent of these sexual harassment charges. She could have helped Kane. She could have helped Victoria's company. Was I the only one that did not make that connection? Was I the only one that didn't realize that Hilary could have cleared up this whole murky lie all along and chose not to? Was I so blinded with Hilary dust that I didn't see that all along? And was everything that she said to Devon just lip service? She was talking to him about how much Kane loves Lily and how much she knows that he would never do anything to hurt her. And here she had this footage all along that could have saved this family some hurt. At the very end of Friday's show, Hilary's having a big old hug session with Juliet, who's overjoyed that she has won her lawsuit, and Hilary's just holding the flash drive in her hand, deciding what to do with it. I don't know. What becomes of the flash drive now? The case is under a gag order, so the parties involved can't talk about it, but Hilary's the one person who knows all. I don't know, is she gonna air the Winters family dirty laundry now? I mean, Jack was searching for any news of this lawsuit online and there's nothing. So the whole sexual harassment lawsuit is technically under wraps. The public doesn't know about it. Is Hilary gonna now take that footage and decide to air this story and further the wave of destruction? Whoa, Nick completely unburdens himself with Sharon. He tells Sharon all about Victor's involvement with Chloe. By the way, from the previews of Monday's show, after 2 weeks of nothing, Y&R is finally going to get back to wrapping up the Kevin and Chloe story. I am sorry, but Y&R really dropped the ball on this whole thing. I feel like Y&R just decided to write off Kevin and Chloe, and they didn't necessarily care if it was well done. It was just needing to be done. Well, congratulations, that's what you got. I'm done with it. I mean, I don't even care. I feel bad saying this because I know that they are Greg Ricart's final scenes for a while anyway, but it feels like they did these quickie goodbyes with the whole family, and now Kevin and Chloe are off in a little bubble, and I don't care. They're going to have to do some work. I hope that next week is compelling when it comes to that and that it feels like a suiting wrap up for two characters that I've cared about. but right now I'm not even looking forward to it. Okay, back to the main story. End rant. Sharon takes in all of this information that Nick has just told her about Victor, and she says to him, don't let Victor rob you of your relationship with Chelsea. You need to let it go. You know, you need to move forward and try to create something positive in your life. Sharon she has become Genoa City's counselor, whether it's an official title or not. She is the official counselor now in Genoa City. I honestly thought that Nick was going to go to Chelsea and tell her everything, but he didn't. Instead, he goes to her and he does give her the L word. He tells her the L word. It just wasn't lies, it was love. Nick tells her that he loves her. I thought it was a really cute moment. I mean, Nick and Chelsea definitely do have their chemistry. I think they are cute together. They make sense. They're an easy couple. They're relaxed. They just kind of work in an effortless sort of way. There's not a lot of drama there, but I can't imagine that that's going to last. There's got to be something that's going to come out. I don't know. It seems like Nick is for now at least keeping the secret about Victor's involvement with Chloe, and Chelsea has decided to keep the secret about Christian's paternity. Is she ever going to tell the truth about that? I'm thinking not. I'm thinking that it's not going to be in the near future anyway. Maybe when Y&R decides to break them up, that's when they'll drop that bomb. But for now, I'm into it. It feels like a new era, I would say, for Nick and specifically for Chelsea. I'm really excited that Chelsea she's getting back in the business mix. She has decided to pitch creating an exclusive Chelsea 2.0 line for Fenmore's, and she goes to the Jabot building looking for Lauren, wanting to pitch the idea, and she ran into Phyllis instead and ended up telling her all about it, and Phyllis loved the idea. Jack didn't love it quite so much. I think that Phyllis saw the potential with Chelsea and wants to get Jack on board for it. She knows that he's kind of the gatekeeper, and who's the gatekeeper to the gatekeeper? It's Gloria. And I loved that Phyllis, in order to get to Jack and convince him to pick up Chelsea's line, Phyllis had to try to do an end run or I guess it's more of an inclusion of Gloria. The Phyllis versus Gloria scenes this week were really, really enjoyable. Gloria is real cold toward Phyllis. For as poorly as Jack treats Gloria, she is so defensive of him. I would be over him. The way he has treated her in the end of their little affair it would be enough for me to want to quit that job and to not want to have anything to do with him, and I would revert back to my I hate Jack, I want revenge on Jack sort of ways. But instead she just rears up and really, she kind of is Jack's bodyguard in a way, and she hates Phyllis. I mean, Gloria is not only cold to Phyllis, but she was lashing out. I mean, Phyllis was trying to sugarcoat with Gloria to try to get what she wanted, and Gloria was really lashing back at Phyllis, saying, she even chastised Phyllis for shacking up with Billy, calling it disrespectful to Jack. Well, I would say, Gloria, that it is extremely disrespectful to John to be shacking up with his son. Don't you? I mean, that's even worse. All of these women are so judgmental about affairs when they've all done it. They've all done it. Thank goodness this town is not made of glass houses. Oh, so fun scene. And Phyllis decided she sugared up Gloria enough. After enough flattery, Gloria did decide to go along with Phyllis's idea because it's going to make her look good too. So Gloria goes to Jack wanting to convince him, but Jack has other plans, namely Juliet. he's starting to talk about hiring her. He wants to bring her into the mix. Cause yeah, that'll be a fun way to irritate everyone at Brash and Sassy. By the way, I loved how everyone, including Jack, just assumes when they hear about the fact that Brash and Sassy has a sexual harassment lawsuit, they just assume that Billy was the one who had something to do with it. I suppose it's a natural assumption, but Billy's not the culprit. It was Kane. And if Victoria, this is a big if Victoria decides to keep Kane on, which I can't imagine why she would, and if Jack hires Juliet to work at Jabot, that would continue the awkward drama in the Jabot building on a daily basis. I mean, bumping into Kane's baby mama in the elevator isn't going to be comfortable for anyone. Jill comes back into Genoa City like hell on wheels. Literally. She's in this bright red convertible. I'm sure that was a very expensive car. I thought it was fabulous. It was a great way to bring Jill back into our scene. I love it. I love it. And like the first thing she does is sees that Phyllis and Billy are together, and she starts going at it. She starts getting in her digs. She says to Billy, what, did you pick her up out of the gutter on the way over here? Jeez, I mean, that's kind of harsh. I mean, once again, Phyllis had an affair with her husband's brother, but Jill had an affair with her husband's son. That is so much worse. Phyllis isn't that bad. Man, I mean, they just treat Phyllis like she is the trash of the town. I can understand why Jill would prefer for Billy to be with Victoria, though. Victoria was a stabilizing force in Billy's life. I think Victoria equals security and family, but Billy and Phyllis are on fire. I am sorry, but Billy and Phyllis, this is what daytime needs more of. I mean, these two people just have such an excellent chemistry. I love Jason Thompson and Gina Tognoni. They just work. It is just so much fun. They have a really great rapport, but also they really legitimately make me blush when they are getting it on all over the place. I mean, they make making love fun. It was fun. I loved her showing up at the top of the stairs in the apartment this week in lingerie and a little apron, saying, let's get right to dessert. And he is just like a dog and a bone. Oh, I mean, they got it on all over that place. It was delightful. I'm just glad I didn't have to clean up that whole whipped cream and strawberries mess that they made all over the floor. They trashed that place. I just about died when Jill showed up and she realized that the place was wrecked. She even picked up Phyllis's apron off the floor before I think she really realized what was just going on there. Oh, you know what? Jill has a right to get in her digs. She has a right to say her piece, and Billy has a right to tell Jill to mind her own business, and I was proud of him for doing so, because you know what, if Billy decides to go back to Victoria, then that needs to be his decision. It needs to be what he decides to do, not what Mother decides for him to do. I think that Jill is going to continue to make her little remarks, and then at the end of the day, I think she is going to let him be a big boy. She needs to let him make the decision and arrive at the decision that works best for his life, because that's what she did. And it worked out for her. I mean, do you remember how stubborn she was after the heart attack? She said, no, I'm not going to listen to anybody. I didn't even have a heart attack. I'm not going to change my life. I'm not going to do anything different. I'm me. And then look at her now. She goes back to the doctor this week. And I first of all, I'm just so glad that they followed up on that. Bravo, Y&R, for not just having Jill's heart attack be this forgotten thing that happened once and then they never pick up on it again. No, she actually goes back to the doctor and she gets a clean bill of health. We learned that she's been eating right, she's been exercising, she's been keeping her stress levels low, and she's been enjoying life. You go, Jill. You continue to check things off that bucket list as long as most of the things in that bucket list are in Genoa City, please. Finally, the face-off that we've known is coming and that we've been waiting for. Jill and Dina come face to face this week. These ladies work together. Like, this is a dynamic that I want to continue to see. They are definitely not pulling any punches. And the thing that I love the most about seeing them go at it is that there's something so cordial about it, yet so vicious about it. They're sitting in a very fancy restaurant, with all of the china on the table, and they're just being cordial while throwing word daggers at each other. It had a similar dynamic to Jill and Catherine. Just like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to get myself huffed up over my little feud with you. I'm just going to kind of flippantly throw my knives in the most elegant of ways. It was excellent. I really love it. I want more Dina versus Jill, and we need to throw Gloria into that mix and have like a meeting of the John Abbott ex-wives club. I mean, we know that Dina and Gloria, despite all of their niceties, are about to throw down, because Gloria and precious Graham have a beautiful friendship in the making. It is starting to bloom, and it seems like the Gloria Graham relationship is a real one. Like, it's not just a ploy to help Jack or a ploy to hurt Jack or to hurt anybody for that matter. It seems like these are two people who might actually enjoy each other's company. They're two outsiders and they're coming together. Gloria is positively girlish around Graham. And with Gloria, we for the very first time have seen Graham become a little bit more human. He is always so prim and so proper and kind of tight, in his suit. And for the first time, we're seeing him let his hair down a little bit with her. We're maybe seeing what it is that Dina sees in him. I mean, he is very charming. What woman wouldn't be charmed by Graham? He's becoming the billion-dollar boy. So this week, Dina announced to Jack and Ashley specifically that her plans with her will are to leave the bulk of her estate to Graham. I'm not gonna lie, that instantly made me suspicious of him again. Last week I was Team Graham. Oh, he's a good guy. I don't think there's anything wrong. He just seems to care about Dina. They have a genuine relationship. The second I heard that for really reasons unknown, Graham is going to be the inheritor. In one episode, I'm seeing red flags all over the place again now. And also, Jack mentioned that there's a big gap in his employment record, and Ashley mentioned that Ravi is still investigating him. I'm sure Ravi is going to run into the scene any day now with some new information on Graham that's going to put him in a totally different light. And am I right in the way I'm interpreting it is, it sounds like Graham has only been working at Mergeron for 1 year. So does that mean that Dina's only known him for 1 year? I mean, I don't know what kind of connection she could have formed with him in 1 year that would make him eligible for all of her money. I mean, it's just, she actually called it, though, a deal this week when she was talking to Ashley and Jack, saying that basically the deal is that if he stays with her through the end of her life, then he inherits most of her money, which, by the way, she has conveniently just liquidated a large part of by selling her company. He's got all of the reason in the world to want her dead. All he has to do is get her out of the way, and he is going to be wildly and famously rich. And I'm not sure that she entirely realized that. I think that Dina is seeming more competent these days. A few of us had speculated that maybe she has a form of Alzheimer's, and that was why she's writing her will and selling her company, but she doesn't quite, I'm not getting that vibe right now. I think she's seeming competent, but I don't think that she fully realized what she has just done, that she has just made herself entirely disposable to Graham. I don't know. I'm not saying that I think Graham's gonna kill her, but I'm a little concerned. I'm just a little concerned. I love the way, though, that she told those kids straight up, this is my decision, live with it. I like that she's blunt. I mean, she's hard. I mean, she's got a tough skin, and I like that about her. I tell you, one way or the other, Graham is poised to become the richest man, one of the richest men in Genoa City, which also happens to make Gloria poised for power. Ooh, they are flirting. I mean, I think he wanted to like F5 her right there on her desk outside of Jack's office. When they were in the steam room, I thought that it was a actual friendship, and then as Dina and Jack and Ashley are in Jack's office having the private conversation, Graham and Gloria are out in the waiting room at her desk, and it was very flirty. I mean, he was up in her face and she was up in his, and he seemed interested. For the first time, we saw something from Graham, something where he was indicating that he wanted her. I mean, that it wasn't, that his entire focus wasn't just Dina, that he has other feelings. I mean, it made me suspicious. I'm not gonna lie. It was great, but that moment made me suspicious of him. That's where my red flags really started to go up. I mean, like, now that he's got what he's wanted from Dina, for her to sign her will, can he just go catcalling all over the town? I don't know. Of course, Gloria didn't know anything about the will until Jack told her, and I think Jack wanted to tell her because I think Jack wants to do everything he can to encourage Graham to leave Dina, just to expose him. Tessa signs her music deal contract with Devon this week. Did anybody else think it was a little weird the way Mariah kind of butted into that deal? I know that Mariah was trying to be cute and be on Tessa's side and try to get her the best deal that she could, but I thought it was overstepping a little. It made me uncomfortable. I kept thinking, if I was dating a billionaire, I would be trying very hard not to involve myself in his business dealings. Devon is dealing with a billionaire, $1 billion estate. If I didn't have any business experience or any experience with that at all, I would be backing off and trying not to get up in there. I don't know. I thought it was a little awkward, but I do, however, enjoy Mariah and Tessa being girlfriends. They were celebrating Tessa's contract with a movie and popcorn popcorn and expensive champagne. Sharon had an eyebrow raised at that expensive champagne, that's for sure. But I like that everybody in town seems to love Tessa, and once again, I like having girlfriends on the show. Mariah gave a little preview to Tessa about her past involvement with Victor and the fact that she was hired to pretend to be Cassie. And I think that was something Tessa needed to hear. Tessa's no fool, and she knows that Victor Newman is not one to be trifled with. Nikki split town. She left a letter and told Victor that she's getting out of town for a little bit. She needs some R&R. She'll be back. And I think she needed that. I'm sure this is probably Melody Thomas Scott's summer vacation or something. So good for her. But she's left town to get her head together. And as soon as Victor gets that letter, he promptly calls a little lunch meeting with Tessa to try to grill her about it. He did have a good idea, though. Even though Tessa didn't give him much information about Nikki, I think he has sensed enough that this concert is causing her stress, and he asks Tessa to open up the concert for Nikki, thinking that might take some of the pressure off. I thought that was a really good idea. From all, it appears from all appearances that Victor is playing the nice guy right now. We'll see how long that lasts, because then there's Jack. He's the nice guy with everybody except when it comes to Jack. Victor can see Nikki and Jack becoming close, and Victor warns Jack to stay away from his wife for probably about the millionth time. But if that warning doesn't work, I wonder if Victor is going to try to play at that same game. Anybody else notice that Victor seems to be getting closer with Ashley? Victor seems to be conveniently there for Ashley every time now that she needs someone to talk to about what's going on with Dina and Graham. I love donuts. That was last week's Who Said It quote. A lot of people got that one right. It was Chelsea who loves donuts. She was talking to Nick, and he was giving her a gift of donuts and a little shirt, and it was an adorable moment that pretty much everybody caught. So I'm gonna give congratulations to all of you who guessed that one correctly. It was Jillian, T. Nicole, Henry, Toby, Sandra, Kathy, Aaron, Heather, Tony, Jamie, Tanya, Lisa, Leanne, Susan, Nancy, and Justin. That was an easy one, I think. So congratulations to all of you guys who guessed it correctly. Our Who Said It quote for this week is a little bit like I'm pulling it mid-conversation, but it was just a weird little moment, and I like when there are just odd word combinations, I suppose. I don't know if this one will be as easy as last week. I think it might be a little more challenging, but you tell me if you think if you know who said ... probably swallowed by a sea monster. Probably swallowed by a sea monster. It was just a fun moment. There was almost like a nautical theme to that whole conversation if you were listening closely. And if you were listening closely, then you'll know who said it. YRChat.com is where you can leave your guess. Who said probably swallowed by a sea monster? Leave your guess, and if you get it right, then you too will get your shout out on next week's Y&R Chat. Okay, it's time for your comments, and I got a lot of comments this past week about Lily and Kane. In fact, the majority of these are about Lily and Kane. I'm going to start out with Tawny's zinger. She left a comment on YouTube saying she thinks Juliet should name the baby Saki. I like that. I think that's a good idea. Let's go with that one. Daisy on Facebook says, I think it's possible that Juliet didn't initially sue Brash and Sassy for sexual harassment because she had an alternate plan. Perhaps she knew she was pregnant and had planned to use her pregnancy as leverage to get something from Kane. Maybe job, maybe money, or something else. But Daisy also goes on to say, it could also be that Juliet is being honest, They really need to have a DNA test done. Needless to say, I'm not sure about Juliet at this point, but I'm also not sure about Kane. So far, we don't have any reason to doubt Juliet, but based on Kane's recent behavior, we have reason to doubt him. Yeah, I'm kind of more on, I'm leaning more toward the second part of that question, or the second part of that comment. There's just something in me that I'm just not picking up con artist vibe from Juliet at this point. I feel like I'm understanding sort of her part in this and where she's coming from, but who knows? Y&R could take it any way they choose to. Rose at yrchat.com left a comment about the should Lily forgive Kane poll question from last week, and Rose said that she thinks Lily should forgive Kane because 1, she has also been unfaithful before, and 2, his cheating was not intentional. However, she certainly shouldn't forgive him today. They've got years of much needed therapy in front of them. Honestly, now that Juliet is pregnant, this has become one of the most interesting stories that the show has presented in a long, long time. It does not rehash any of the show's traditional love triangles, and it has transformed 2 of the most boring and annoying characters, Kane and Lily, into 2 of the most interesting and tragic characters. I feel so much sympathy for everyone in this triangle, Rose says. Yeah, it is kind of a transformative storyline. And I like also what you said about feeling everyone's situation. I feel like I understand Kane, and I understand Lily, and I understand Juliet, and that is what makes a compelling storyline. There's also this part of me that feels like the new writers, the new writing regime, are not necessarily always going for the twist. I think that's something that we've seen in the past. I think this writing regime, they seem to be going more for the character development and characterization, and that is another element that plays into me thinking that maybe this is face value. Maybe they are playing it at face value. Maybe he did sleep with Juliet. Maybe she is pregnant, and maybe the baby is his, and this is just one of those situations where, as Dina would say, live with it. Jamie at yrchat.com says, Kane has a long history of being dishonest, especially where Lily is concerned. If I were in Lily's shoes, I wouldn't have been able to get past him faking his death and haunting me to the point of insanity. Yes, yes. Tina Cole at yrchat.com says, in a marriage or any relationship, if one person cheats or does something to break trust, i.e. Lily with sleeping with Joe, it does not give the other a pass to do the same. It's not like where you can say, okay, now we're even. There is doubt and hurt that cannot always be erased. Marion at yrchat.com says, I think Lily should forgive Kane and move on. They are a cute couple, but I don't see where they're heading. It's not just the lies. I find they have become duller. That's an interesting idea, that she should forgive Kane and just move on with her life. Superplex at yrchat.com says, to tell the truth, I find the direction the show is going mystifying. The only explanation that makes any sense to me is that Daniel Goddard is leaving the show. Other than that, my guess is that the production staff wants to inject some energy into Kane's character and has decided to revert him back to the sinister individual that he used to be in the beginning. Well, I haven't heard anything as far as Daniel Goddard leaving the show, so I think it's the latter. I think that the writers wanted to give Lily and Kane a chance to shine rather than having them in happy couple boring land. As I mean, a lot of people have been saying, most of the criticisms about Lily and Kane is that they're boring. So what Y&R I think is doing is maybe giving a shot in the arm to these characters, giving them some challenges. Honestly, I wouldn't be sad if we saw Kane reverting back to his more sinister side. I thought that was kind of fun. Even if it breaks Lily and Kane up for a while, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Kristen at yrchat.com says, I think Kane and Lily will separate. She'll have her fling with Jordan, and then it'll come out that Juliet set the whole thing up and Kane and Lily will reunite. Can't wait to see what happens with Maddie and Reed because of it, though. Victoria is about to meddle big time when she finds out. It was kind of sad and cute that Maddie was so stressed out about what's going on in the home that she wasn't able to fully flirt with Reed. I think it's going to be important to have Reed there for Maddie. I think she's going to need him to lean on. Charlie is kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. We need to see some kind of personal growth or something out of Charlie other than just coming in and being a Budinsky into our cute little romance. I want to know who Charlie is other than the fact that he's just a jock. Lisa at yrchat.com says, I think it's interesting that Michael is involved in the sexual harassment case. This is going way back. But years ago, Christine sued Michael and the law firm they both worked for, claiming that Michael sexually harassed her, which he clearly did, and won a huge verdict. I would like to see a scene where Christine remarks to Michael that she hopes he is more successful in this type of case as a lawyer than as a defendant. Very good pull. Brent at yrchat.com, who is a new listener to the podcast, also commented about Michael, saying that Michael was not a very effective lawyer in that deposition. Why didn't he go on the offensive about that hotel security footage? He could have raised doubt about Juliet's story and how it's just as likely, or more so, that Juliet was trying to blackmail Kane into getting a job, getting him drunk, sleep with him, and then holding it over his head. Yes, you know what, Brent? I didn't even think of that. But if you look at that hotel footage objectively, it no more shows that Kane sexually harassed Juliet than it shows that Juliet was trying to blackmail Kane. Excellent point. Sharita at yrchat.com says, I think Hilary should leak the tape to Michael just so Kane and Kane's children don't have to go around with the stigma of Kane being a sexual harasser. That's an interesting idea, as opposed to Hilary going public with the tape. If she would just somehow leak it to the family so that at least they know the truth behind the situation and don't have this awful monster idea of Kane. Although it does kind of seem like everybody agrees that Kane didn't sexually harass her, but it's starting to come out the reality of the situation that he did accidentally sleep with her. Marianne at yrchat.com has a prediction for us. She says, Lily will forgive Kane and they will reunite and be happy for a while, but soon if Juliet remains on the show, she will run into the cameraman and realize that she definitely should have spent more time fighting her termination over allowing Hilary to manipulate her into a frivolous sexual harassment suit. Or Jordan may run into the cameraman and find out what happened and be torn between telling Lily the truth so she will leave Kane or not wanting to hurt Lily. Also, Marianne has a wild card theory out here that Phyllis could run into the cameraman or someone else who has information and try to score points with Billy by revealing all. She's done this in the past and may even find out that Kane instigated the Philly reveal to Victoria. Somebody's got to come back to that cameraman. Kane has got to get caught for what he did in LA. Y&R's not just going to sweep that under the rug, are they? Tony at yrchat.com says, Jordan in the nude photography. He's taking pictures of Hilary. Hilary is not really with anybody, so that may have just been a setup that this is something that he does. I think Jordan will take pictures of Lily, and that will lead to something before we find out that Kane is innocent of what he's being accused of. Do you guys think that Jordan's gonna take nude pictures of Lily? I cannot see her agreeing to that. That would be mucho scandaloso. Cheyenne at yrchat.com also has a prediction for us. She thinks that Hilary and Devon are going to reunite, and then Jordan or Mariah will leak Hilary's nude photos to get back at her as revenge. Am I the only one that thinks Hilary might kind of like for those photos to be leaked? I think Hilary would be like, yeah, I look good. And she'd probably post them on GC Buzz herself. Lynn at yrchat.com says, I can see Devon and Hilary getting back together and Jordan getting upset with Hilary and somehow releasing those pictures. The pictures of Hilary are bound to come out sooner or later. They are. They got to come out somewhere. James at yrchat.com says, I think I think getting back with Devon is more important to Hilary than getting revenge on Lily. So I believe she will expose Juliet on GC Buzz with the video of her saying that the sex didn't mean anything. She will paint Juliet as a disgruntled, fired employee trying to get a big payday, knowing that she coaxed Juliet into filing the lawsuit. Devon will be appreciative, and it will set the stage for Hilary to win over Devon. I think you probably are right. I hadn't thought of that, James, but I think you might be right. Right in and of itself, that Hilary's main motive over revenge for Lily should be getting back together with Devon. Connor at yrchat.com says, Allie, I love ya, but I have to disagree with you on Nick and Sharon reuniting. Been there, done that. Like, come on, Y&R writing team, let's not keep repeating history. Yes, I'm a fan of Schick, but I've gotten used to them being apart now. Look how strong Sharon is right now, and that's what I want for her. I feel like if she goes back down the path that is Nick Newman, it will end in disaster. Okay, Connor, I'm gonna sit on the Nick and Chelsea train for right now. I'm not gonna keep pushing Nick and Sharon, even though you know they're gonna end up back together. But I'll wait for it patiently. Rocks Grace on YouTube says, I have a feeling Ravi and Ashley were dropped, sadly. We barely see Ravi anymore, not only with Ashley, but in general. He used to have those fun exchanges with Phyllis, and those have disappeared too. I'm bummed. I loved the actor and the character. I don't think Ravi's gone though, Rocks Grace. I think that maybe Y&R is retooling. I wonder if they pick up on fan reaction and then retool based on that. I mean, I thought that maybe we were headed toward an Ashley and Graham thing, but it seems more that we're doing Graham and Gloria, which I like. I'm for that. And I think that would still leave Ashley and Ravi to pursue their relationship. To everything I've heard, everyone loved Ashley and Ravi. So I haven't heard anybody say anything negative about that little friendship or relationship or anything. So I kind of think Y&R is still going to go with that. I just wouldn't be surprised if they're going to pick it up in a couple weeks. I mean, look at them. They've got this big thing going on, this big reveal going on with Kevin and Chloe, and they don't even touch on it for 2 weeks. It's obvious that they have a lot of characters on the canvas right now. They have a lot of things that need to be addressed, and I think that they just can't focus on everything all at once. I think that might be how they take little breaks from certain things and bring other stories to the forefront. I'm gonna hope that that's what's going on with Ravi and Ashley anyway. Sandra at yrchat.com says, Dina and Jill were enjoyable to watch. The show needs a matriarch, and they both fit in that role. Nikki is great and all, and I adore her, but to me, she doesn't fit the role of matriarch on the show. I think that's an interesting point, because I do agree. I think Dina and Jill, they do fit that role. Nikki is always such a wounded bird, and I think that's what makes it more difficult for her to be I can't remember what Victor called her a couple weeks ago, but she should be the matriarch of the show, but she is always just struggling in and she just has so many weaknesses, and she never really seems to get to be strong, Nikki. I want Y&R to do for Nikki what they've done for Sharon. Yes, that's what needs to happen. Gary left me a voicemail saying, I see that Jill is not wearing her emerald engagement ring from Philip. She had some dialogue where she said she would never take it off. Now she's wearing a meaningless gold wedding band from Colin on one hand and some giant bauble on the other, which is fine. Gary, I'm really glad you caught that, because I didn't. I'm mad at myself for not thinking of that. But yeah, we had this big thing where Jill, it was like such a meaningful thing in her life, receiving that engagement ring, and now she's not even wearing it. Maybe it's in a safety deposit box or something somewhere. I'll choose to believe that. They should bring that full circle though, right? I want to see that ring. Oh, lastly but not leastly, I got a really cute voicemail from Lisa, and she wanted to say that she doesn't care for Colin. She thinks he's better on General Hospital as Robert Scorpio. Is he doing both? Is he on General Hospital as well as Y&R? I think maybe he is. But I had to mention that comment because speaking of General Hospital, have you guys heard, Gary, you're going to appreciate this too, that Steve Burton is returning to General Hospital? Have you heard this? So Steve Burton, who played Dylan, and who, you know, was much more famously known as Jason on General Hospital, is now going back to General Hospital. I honestly, when I heard that news, I was pissed. Not gonna lie, I felt really betrayed because when Steve Burton left The Young and the Restless, it was all about, I'm gonna go live in Nashville and I've got some restaurants I'm gonna start up with and I'm in a band and I'm gonna do the family thing for a while. And all along he was just gonna turn around and go back to General Hospital. I'm very happy for General Hospital fans because he probably is needed there. That is his signature role. But I feel on behalf of Young and the Restless fans, betrayed. Betrayal. Very sad. I suppose at least that keeps him on the soap scene and we can keep our fingers crossed for a Dylan return at some point. But for now, I'm a little mad at you, Steve. Okay, I think that does it for our Y&R chat for the week, but we still have a soap giveaway to get to. I am going to change my clothes, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee, I'm gonna relax a minute, and then I'm gonna do my soap setup and I'm gonna draw a winner for our big giveaway. So I'm gonna wrap things up here. I'm gonna let you guys know all the ways you can contact me about Y&R, and then I will take the camera off of its tripod and we'll do the giveaway separately. So you can go, of course, to yrchat.com if you would like to leave me comments about the show. From there, you can find the Facebook and Twitter and the YouTube, and all of those places are great to leave comments as well. And there's the voicemail. It's area code 309-588-4569. Lots of ways to contact me, and you know I love your comments, so please don't be shy. Okay, I think that's it for me for right now. I will say goodbye and I will come back with a winner. The time has come for our Soap for Soap fans giveaway for summer 2017. I am very, very excited about this, as you can tell, I'm sure. I want to explain to you first my little setup. So here I have all of the summer soaps that are Y&R themed and named and based on characters at The Young and the Restless, and you have entered for the bar of your choice. So you could choose from Neil, Crisp, and Aquatic. You could choose Nick, who is beachy, or you could choose Rosie, Ms. Nikki, or we have Oatmeal Sharon back here, or the absolutely unscented Naked Heiress soap. Aren't they all so beautiful? I'm kind of proud of them. I also wanted to show you guys that I made some whipped body creams in my Naked Heiress, Sharon, Nikki, and because everybody really liked it last year, I brought back Ghost Sage. And I like this one. I made one for myself. Sage is a very sea, ocean, salty, fresh kind of scent, and it's perfect for summer. So I said, hey, let's bring back the ghost. We'll do it all again. Oh, and you guys are gonna love this. I made some more of my lip balms, which I also had just so much wonderful feedback about. So I did some Y&R themed lip balms. What do I got here but GC Buzz Honey? You knew I was gonna have to do that eventually. I've got a lip balm in Pool House Pina Colada. You guys remember the Pool House? It's just so perfect and summery. And I have to say that's probably my personal favorite, but we also have Little Miss Perfect mint chocolate cookie. It's a Girl Scout thin mint dupe type of a scent. Oh my gosh. First of all, I'll let you guess who Little Miss Perfect is based on. But I mean, these all three are really good, and they are scented but not sweetened. So it's kind of just nice to have that blast of fragrance. And also, everybody really liked my lip balm recipe. I think it's a good one. So these are all of my goodies for the summer, and these are my soap bubbles. So when you entered the giveaway, I wrote your name down on the soap bubble along with the soap that you wanted to win. So the blue and yellow ones here are for the main Soap for Soap Fans giveaway, and then the white ones off here to the side are for the secret giveaway, and those were kind of a bonus giveaway just for newsletter subscribers. So I think first we will do the main giveaway. Oh my gosh, I don't know why, but this is so thrilling to me. I hope everybody gets to see their name and enjoy the anticipation of who's gonna win as much as I do. So I'm going to make it interesting, and I'm gonna mix up my soap bubbles and just draw a winner. Okay, I want to get them good and shuffled here and make sure everybody has a chance to win. I know I make this more elaborate than it probably needs to be, but small things entertain me. Okay, well, I have to say, yellow is my favorite color, so I think I'm gonna pick a yellow one. Do I want to go scent? I'll mix them here, and I'll kind of move it into the center. Okay, all right. You know what? I see one that's kind of under that one. I'm gonna go with this one right here. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that off to the side. So, are you ready for the grand reveal? The winner of their choice of Genoa City soap is Jackie! Yeah! Woo, woo, woo! Jackie chose the Sharon soap. I just knew somebody was gonna get that Sharon one because it's so good. Here she is. This one is coming your way, Jackie. I mean, it's just like, it's like a very classic feminine scent. I honestly feel like I hit the ball out of the park when it came to formulating the Sharon and also the Nikki scents. Like, I believe in my heart of hearts that Sharon smells like this. And Nikki too. So I'm really excited, Jackie, for you to try this one. If you haven't tried it already, I made them last year too, so you may very well have already tried it and loved it. But this baby is gonna be on its way to you. And okay, you know I'm gonna pick a second one. I'm not gonna let all these blue bubbles go to waste. So we'll put Jackie and Sharon over here together, and we'll mix them up again and pick a blue one. I didn't have any particular thought process of which ones became blue. The only thing I did was I put a little flower on all of the yellow ones, and I put a little ocean wave on all of the blue ones. Let's go with this blue one. I like it when they're kind of hidden. I like the bottom one, this one. This one feels right to me. Let's find out who our second winner is. Are you ready? Dun, 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 dun. Mir, how do I say your name? Mir or Meyer? Mir? I'm sorry that I'm butchering your name, but I have to extend a heartiest congratulations to the second winner of the Sharon soap, Myrrh. I'm gonna say it's Myrrh. I don't know. Gosh, I feel bad, but I feel good at the same time. Congratulations, you two. I just had a feeling that the Sharon ones were gonna be really popular, so I'm not surprised that there are two of these that are gonna be going into the mail. I think that you're gonna love them. I really do. Congratulations to Jackie and Mir. And you guys are gonna love the Sharon one. I just know it. Well, tell you what, let's go ahead and pick this secret giveaway winner too. It's weird because the Sharon soap was the most popular when it came to the big giveaway, but on the secret giveaway, oh, let me flip these so you can see, maybe see your names a little bit more. On the secret giveaway, Nick was the most popular one. So I don't know, maybe Nick is gaining in popularity because he's been on screen a little bit more lately, or if you guys were just extra feeling that summer fragrance, because he's very beachy and fruity. I really like it. I really, really like it. And it's just like one of those no-brainers for summer. It's like juicy tropical fruits, and it's got kind of just beachy, sandy notes and water notes in it. So it's a good one. Okay, so I've got all of my soap bubbles flipped. I'm going to predict that it's going to be a bar of Nick. But we'll see. Okay, what, you know, I kind of, again, I like them when they're kind of buried. I'm going to go with this one that's up here. Okay. All right, so secret giveaway, newsletter subscribers only. So this was a more limited pool. Your chances are better of winning here. But let's find out who it is. Okay, you guys ready? The winner of the secret giveaway is, no way, Connor. That's your second time winning a giveaway. You're a lucky guy. And you picked well. I was wrong. Okay, it was not a Nick bar. It was the Nikki bar. She looks so good. Now I think you're gonna like this too. Well, hey, I mean, first of all, sparkles. You can't go wrong with that. I think you're gonna like this one, Connor. It feels just appropriate, actually, that you should have the Nikki bar. I'm very excited for you. I think you won a Paul bar last time, so maybe you'll have had Nikki and Paul. I got to bring back the Dylan one then, so you could have the Dylan soap as well. So well done, you guys. I'm very pleased. Here are our winners. You guys, I hope that you love them. I think that you will. Yay! If you didn't win, I hope also that you're not too terribly disappointed, because you can still get them. I made a few extras, and I'm putting that all of them into my pop-up shop, along with the gorgeous whipped body creams, the lip balms. I'm not gonna lie, like, these are really good lip balms. I'm kind of picky, and I'm not into flavored ones. That's why I made them scented only and not sweetened. So it's just kind of addicting to be able to get that blast of lip balm with the scent. And I've really been digging into the Pool House Pina Colada one. That one's in my desk drawer and is getting used. But they're all, like, I mean, you would not be disappointed if you wanted to pick up one of those. All of these are really good. I've still got some sugar scrubs left. I've got still other soaps other than these as well. So if you want to go to the shop to check it all out, it is GenoaCitySoap.com. You can get these babies. You can check out the blog. You can sign up for the newsletter so that you don't miss out on the next giveaway if you did. And also I do more videos, and I try to tweet and Facebook as much as possible. So go to the website, GenoaCitySoap.com, see all the soaps, see all the goodies, come back next time. You know I'm gonna do more for the fall. You know there's gonna be a fall giveaway, so you'll have more chances to win and more chances to get the new stuff. Okay, I hope everybody has a fantastic summer. I love you guys, and extra super congratulations to our winners.